Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you in another video. Alright, so I'm all checked in, feeling good, getting ready to go get my meal as always on this side of town. Looks like it could actually rain a little bit, and I'm not at all prepared for that, but I'm only 9-minute walk, something like that, 9 minutes back, so I'll be counting on it not raining. But yeah, I feel good. I feel really good. I got a nice little 2-hour nap in after getting in here making my video. Unfortunately, the video is still uploading because on this side of town that's kind of the issue, so I'll be sure not to delete it before checking to see if it's done, because that is something a mistake I made very recently, so that sucked real bad having to do videos twice for that reason. But yeah, I got in here, did the Bible study after the nap, and took my little shower, and now got to head over there and get the food, come back and watch it and check out the second half of Game 7 or the fourth quarter, whatever. I haven't checked it in about a half hour or so, but it seemed like it was shaping up to be a pretty good game between the Pistons and the Cavaliers. So that's what's up there. What's going on with me? I feel good, man. I was able to knock out a couple of days straight where I got my art done for a few playlists, because the playlists have been coming quicker than the art has been coming lately. As I've been expressing to you guys, the last room I was in wasn't great for art, the lighting and stuff like that. Excuse me. So what I did was the last 3 days is I just knocked out 3 of them. So they've been posted. What was it? The LCD 450. I think it was 456, 457, and 454, maybe? Something like that. Now, those are posted, and then I've since made 2 playlists as well on top of another one that has to be done. So 3 down, 3 to go is essentially what it is. Just the music has been coming a lot faster, and I've been in the mood to arrange the music and put them on playlists, and just haven't had the opportunity to make all the art for that stuff. So I didn't do one today. I thought about it, but I was like, nah, my body was telling me a nap would do me some good. Maybe I'll do a little bit of that after I get back in there, since the lighting is just fine in this room. I could do art at night if I decide to. But everything's good, man. I got in the car with somebody that I had been in the car with before. He'd actually taken me from here to the Studio Lodge Hotel maybe about 6 months ago or something like that. So he remembered me. That was really cool. And we had a nice conversation about how inflation is kicking everybody's behind, and he's having a hard time with it. And of course, he's an old timer. He was telling me how, loaf of bread used to be $1, gas used to be $1.50, and he doesn't know what happened. But now he has to spend like 6 times that to get all these things. So I had a great time with him. And he helped me with my bags, even though I was insisting that he don't, because them bags are too damn heavy. But he was insisting, and that was really cool, man. So yeah, nothing really to talk about. Nice routine process. I had paid for this room last week, so I knew I didn't have any problems with that. They got me in here fast today. I barely even had to sign my name on the paper. They already had the key in front of me, so everybody knows me very well here at this point. And so it's just been a very smooth day. Smooth coming out of there, smooth coming over here. Everything it's about as smooth as a transition as I could have possibly have asked for. Usually it goes very smooth, but this is like especially easy. Nothing too, even is the smallest amount of static. I got out of there on time, and everything worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. I still haven't received my package. The package, I did get refunds on both of them, but one of them I reordered after receiving the refund. It was supposed to come yesterday. They didn't bring it. So like, I'm just really frustrated with that. It's supposed to be soap, man. Like literally soap. I do have body wash, but they've neglected to deliver my soap to me. So a little frustrated with that. In fact, a lot frustrated, to be honest with you. But it is what it is, man. So I'm just dealing with that, and yeah, it's just really what's going on right now. I just want to get my food and head back home. Of course, there's stuff going on in Gaza that I've been able to see. They have this ceasefire agreement that, of course, is never followed by America and Israel. and then the carnage is coming out. It's been a while since I had been able to see carnage. I was telling you guys my Instagram algorithm was showing me stuff that wasn't necessarily centered around Gaza, but I have since corrected that, and now I'm seeing what I need to be seeing, and it's unfortunately very, very disturbing stuff. These weapons that they create with the specifics of cutting people's limbs off and stuff like that, or that weapons that they're sending down on these civilians. And so you're seeing the aftermath of that, after people have been hit with these bombs, people all cut up, missing limbs, faces blown off, all different types of stuff like that. It's carnage, man, and it's been this way for the entire 3 years of this genocide. They're doing the same thing in Lebanon, and I'm sure they will be taking this practice elsewhere surrounding that area so that they can build out Greater Israel, as we've talked about a lot. So I'm at this point kind of numb, as I'm sure you guys probably imagine, somebody who's seen as much of this as I have. It doesn't even turn your stomach to see these images at all, but you still feel extremely irritated, frustrated, and helpless to be able to do your part to raise awareness. Use your voice for that. I try, but Israel's moving forward. But I think the good thing about all of this is people are the word is spreading. People are much more. It's much more common to see people speak out against this than it was maybe 2 years ago. It's much more common to see people be knowledgeable about this. It's taken a while, and I figured it would for the word to spread, but it's now getting to a point where the word is spread and people understand on a much more national scale what's going on over there and why they should have a problem with it. It's not just them being able to smear people like myself who will say, hey, free Palestine, this and that. There are a lot of people who they were trying to keep this information from, who've since heard people say free Palestine a lot and have since gotten themselves educated. So it's a slow thing to get the common person to understand what's happening over there. But I've seen a lot of progress in that regard, and people are growing more knowledgeable. So it's not really saving lives, but it can help. It can definitely help, and that's all we can ask for at the moment. Train coming. Light not changing at all. Very frustrated with that, but yeah, man, just looking at life as these people are going through what they're going through makes you once again understand that your problems are not problems at all in comparison, that you have the strength to endure. It's unfortunate that it requires that type of thing to provide humility, but it does for a lot of us. And we just gotta thank God for what He's doing in our lives, even if it doesn't seem very favorable. Because believe me, you could be dealing with the people in Lebanon and Gaza are dealing with the people in West Bank are dealing with the people in Sudan are dealing with what the people in Congo are dealing with. Like it's absurd. I saw footage. I don't know how long ago this was taken. I don't think it was recent, but footage of a man who was in the literal trenches, not as in the hood, but someone who was digging in trenches over in some other country, third world country, and a whole entire wall collapsed on him while he was digging. It didn't say that he was certain to have perished, but they believed that he perished. And it's just like, this is a person probably in his 50s. He had been doing this work probably all his life, didn't think nothing of it. But the work that these people have to do in these countries so that we can have diamonds, so that we can have minerals, coal, and all these different things is so dangerous. And at any moment, and in many moments, they lose their lives doing this crap for little to no pay, practical slavery. And I just think that the culture around celebrating using these type of things without bringing forth, literal justice toward those people who've lost their lives and literal wage balance to those individuals who are doing these works, I think is ridiculous. That we would even, in our society and in Western societies around the world, feel not vindicated, but feel like we have a right to sue one another to bring balance. Feel like we have rights to, you know, all different types of litigation processes and things like that, so that balance can be had. But we don't get sleep until we make balance of what it is that we have going on and what it is that's going on around us. But when we look at people like that, we're like, well, man, this is how it goes. Well. Very little effort is meant to bring balance to their lives, and we're comfortable with them having no balance so long as it keeps us balanced. It's time for that way of living to end. It's time for us, from within our places of privilege, to step up and say, I should not be able to sleep at night because they aren't getting what they deserve. They don't have millions of dollars coming to their loved ones when they die on the job. You know what I mean? They should. You consider yourself a human being, and if something happens to you in your workplace, or if you're not getting the wages you're supposed to be getting, suddenly you want to sue people, and rightfully so. But in the presence of all of that, we will look over at those individuals and say, yeah, they should be making pennies to the dollar for what they're making, and they should be doing all the difficult jobs, and it's okay to exploit those jobs, give them a tenth of what they're worth, a small fraction, not even a tenth of what it is they should be getting, and that's just perfectly fine because they're over there and out of sight, out of mind. I'm of the mindset that going forward with this knowledge in my head, if we're raising our kids to keep that system propped up, and if we're not looking at that as something that's in balance, we're not raising our kids correctly. We're not doing what we should be doing as human beings to assure that those people have some balance in their lives, just like we would demand that in our own. It's a sickness, really, to have adapted to a culture where we allow for other people, human beings, to be considered cattle, to be considered insects, etc. To have so little value on others' lives, but to run around faking and such in regards to one another around our own circumference. Pretend like we love people so much, pretend like we care for children so much, and could give a damn about what happens to other people's kids around the globe. And, you know, it was a situation where I was watching a post from Code Pink, and they were essentially showing us footage of, I don't know who it was, somebody from their representatives approaching Anthony Blinken, famous for aligning with Donald Trump and Israel on all the evil stuff that they've been doing. One of the faces of our government. I think he's since been fired, but I'm not really sure. I don't keep up with it to that degree. But I haven't seen him in a while representing Donald Trump and his nonsense. But they were approaching this man somewhere where he was with his kids, and they were asking him about children who have died with the stuff that he's been co-signing, the stuff that he's been doing in his job. How it leads to children dying, how it leads to people being, and all the different things. And he was essentially saying, not in front of my children. Not in front of my children. Don't bring this conversation to me while I'm in front of my children. Like, that's rich coming from you, given the fact that she's literally approaching you with concern for the fact that you didn't give a damn about children. And now all of a sudden, in front of your children, you don't want to have the conversation because you don't want them to hear that you didn't care nothing about those children. That's crazy. And that's really what it comes down to. That type of culture where we're so distant to give any damns about anybody else's kids, but immediately when it comes to our own, suddenly we have a heart and we want to cover their ears and cover their eyes and all these different things. It's a ridiculous thing. Really, when you consider it, it's like if you don't care about those kids, well, in the grand scheme of things, you're not actually effectively protecting your kids. Because at the end of the day, when people come back around to hold you accountable for your crimes and you're dead in your grave, they're looking at your last name and they're pointing their vitriol at your kids. They're saying that you got to pay back later on. They got to pay back later on, rather, what it is that you did and what it is you allowed. So are you effectively protecting your children when you allow them to run around thinking you're a hero, only to find out as they grow up that they're vilified for the things that you did? That's exactly what's going to happen to them. And so I think it's a necessary thing that such a occurrence would take place. That it would be rich in hypocrisy if we then don't bring this to them wherever they may be. There should be no peace for individuals who are fine with people being slaughtered and children dying and stuff like that, people who make money off that type of stuff. There should be no peace for those people. They are used to living in a world where everybody allows them to be where they are, who they are, doing the things that they do while people die because of it. There should be no peace for those individuals anymore. If you benefit from the slaughtering of children, if you benefit from the bombs, if you're part of these companies that provide all types of weapons to Israel, etc., if you benefit off the slaughtering of human beings, going forward, you should expect more resistance to your existence in peace. You should find no peace. You should expect to not find as much peace. You should be forced to hide. You shouldn't feel safe anywhere you go. That's the type of culture that ultimately is most responsible in deterring this behavior that will ultimately trickle down to people dying and slaughtering and all the types of nonsense that we're seeing out here. As long as these people continue to feel like they're comfortable and that there's fine with them making money off people dying, and that there's no consequences for those behaviors, there will continue to be people dying as an adverse consequence to those behaviors. And that's really what it comes down to. If we call ourselves humanitarians, we need to start getting to the root of some of the issues that ultimately harm human beings. Not just human beings in our circumference, but human beings everywhere. And so that's really what it is that I'm bringing to this channel. I want people to understand your kids, my kids, their kids, every child deserves to be protected no matter where they live, no matter what circumstances they have, no matter what class system they belong to. At the end of the day, if a child is in danger, then it's an adult's responsibility to protect them. If they're failing to do so, then they're a useless adult. Bdf 44, thank you all for watching.